Have you ever wondered how a daring heist could unfold right under police noses? The Dunbar armored robbery was the biggest cash heist in US history. It's a tale filled with cunning, teamwork, and sheer audacity. The heist happened on September 12, 1997. A group of former employees planned it meticulously. They targeted Dunbar Armored, transporting cash across Los Angeles. The mastermind of the operation was Alan Pace. He worked as a regional safety inspector. Pace knew the inner workings of the company's cash operations. The first step of the plan involved recruiting trusted accomplices. Pace enlisted 5 partners, all former Dunbar employees. They knew the security measures and routines inside out. Next, they gathered equipment. The crew obtained uniforms resembling real Dunbar workers. They even got a fake security truck. On the day of the robbery, it all unfolded quickly. The crew arrived at the Dunbar facility early in the morning. They carefully executed their plan, bypassing security. Once inside, they overpowered the guards. The team quickly filled duffel bags with cash. In just 30 minutes, they stole over $18 million. But how did they escape? The crew used a convoy of vehicles, each unnoticed in the early morning rush. They kept a low profile, blending into traffic. After the robbery, the crew hid the cash well. They changed their appearances, creating confusion among investigators. However, they couldn't escape justice forever. The FBI began an extensive investigation. They gathered evidence and interviewed witnesses. Over time, they pieced together what happened that day. The key breakthrough came from a tip-off. One accomplice, feeling guilty, contacted the FBI. This led to the arrest of the crew, one by one. Ultimately, most of the cash was never recovered. Some of it vanished without a trace. The heist featured in documentaries, capturing imaginations across the nation. In summary, the Dunbar armored robbery showcases the power of planning and deception. A team of insiders executed one of history's most notorious heists. Want to dive deeper into this thrilling story? Subscribe for more incredible true crime tales. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Have you ever considered the ramifications of such a colossal crime? The heist not only captivated the public but also sparked debates about security protocols and insider knowledge in the industry. Alan Pace and his crew had cunningly exploited their former roles to orchestrate an unforgettable escapade. Each member played their part flawlessly, executing their plan with surgical precision. The aftermath of their actions left law enforcement questioning existing procedures, propelling them to tighten security measures nationally. In the end, it wasn't just about the money, it was a wake-up call for businesses everywhere regarding the vulnerabilities they face from within. Indeed, the intrigue surrounding the Dunbar armored robbery has not faded with time. In 2000, a film was released, dramatizing the audacity of the crime. Although it fictionalized certain elements, it highlighted the lengths to which individuals would go for financial gain. The media continually revisits the story, unraveling new angles and perspectives. Each retelling adds layers to an already complex narrative of betrayal and greed. Even today, the shadows of the heist linger in conversations about security inadequacies and the ever-present risks posed by insiders. As investigators dug deeper, they discovered connections between the accomplices and various businesses in Los Angeles. This interwoven network raised suspicions about additional conspiracies, as authorities feared that the heist may have been part of a larger criminal scheme. Every lead brought them closer to unraveling the truth, compelling law enforcement to approach the case with renewed vigor and resourcefulness. Meanwhile, Alan Pace and his crew watched the unfolding investigation closely, their hearts racing with the fear of being caught, knowing that their meticulous planning might ultimately lead to their downfall. This heist not only tested law enforcement's skills but also showcased the extraordinary lengths individuals would go to in pursuit of wealth. As the investigation progressed, tensions mounted among the crew, with loyalties becoming strained under the weight of suspicion and guilt. Each member grappled with their choices as the reality of their actions sank in, while investigators sifted through clues, desperately trying to piece together the most audacious theft in American history. In tight-knit circles, whispers spread, and soon, others began to wonder if they, too, could be involved in something so extraordinary. Little did they know, this would turn out to be one of the most notorious stories of betrayal and crime ever told. The spectre of the Dunbar heist loomed large, a captivating yet cautionary tale of ambition gone wrong. As the investigation deepened, cracks began to show within the group. Tensions flared during clandestine meetings, and pauses grew longer, weighed down by unspoken fears and doubt. The once solid bond of camaraderie began to dissolve under the threat of exposure, leaving each man reconsidering their next move. In the end, the Dunbar armored robbery serves as a striking reminder of the fine line between ambition and greed, highlighting the fragile nature of trust among those entangled in deceit. Their tale will forever echo within the realms of true crime, igniting the imaginations of those who seek to understand the darker sides of human nature. The day dawned bright but fraught with anxiety as Alan Pace glanced at his trusted team, each man's face reflecting a mix of determination and fear. They had all come too far to turn back now. The allure of wealth was intoxicating, yet the price of failure loomed like a dark cloud overhead. As they huddled for one final briefing, Alan spoke, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "Remember, everything we've practiced leads to this moment. Keep your focus, stick to the plan, and we'll be legends by dusk." The gravity of his words weighed on them, but with a shared nod, they steeled themselves for what lay ahead, adrenaline coursing through their veins. As the sun climbed higher, the crew moved towards the facility with a calculated nonchalance, dressed in uniforms that blended seamlessly with the rhythm of the morning shift. Each step felt deliberate, as they stepped into the world they once inhabited, minds swirling with memories of mundane tasks now twisted into something far more sinister. Alan led them to the entrance, his heart thudding in time with the low hum of machinery inside. "This is it," he murmured, the moment bearing down on them as they reached the door, the world outside fading away. They knew they had one chance to pull off what would become a notorious chapter in criminal history. The door opened, revealing the stark interior of the Dunbar facility, alive with the mechanical sounds of cash operations. Instantly, the air thickened with a mixture of nostalgia and tension as memories of routine inspections flooded back to Alan. He gestured for his team to follow, their movements ghost-like among the hustle of the employees oblivious to the storm about to hit. With practiced ease, they navigated the facility, adopting the calmness expected of uniformed workers. As they turned a corner, Alan pointed towards the break room, their first filtered path toward the main vault. "Stay sharp, blend in," he whispered to ensure the stakes of their audacious mission were clear. The moment they breached the break room, a feeling of adrenaline surged. This was their initiation into the realm of infamy, one that hinged on precision and trust. The break room hummed with the mundane chatter of employees on their breaks, unaware of the extraordinary drama unfolding just outside. Alan's eyes darted around, gauging every detail, the worn furniture, the faint scent of brewed coffee, the buzz of unknowing laughter. His voice dropped to a near whisper, razor-focused. "All right, we stick to the timers. Eyes on the prize, gentlemen." They nodded, hearts pounding, their nerves tested in this moment of proximity to their goal. Alan could feel the weight of the duffel bags at their sides itching to be filled. Just beyond this room, the vault awaited, guarding its riches like a siren, luring them further into danger. As they waited, he noticed one of the workers shoot a glance towards them, hesitation flickering across her face. For a heartbeat, time froze, and Alan's breath caught. In that instant, the delicate balance of secrecy hung in the air, a reminder that even the slightest slip could shatter their carefully constructed facade. "Keep cool," he hissed, as the moment stretched painfully. With a collective exhale, they moved past the break room, their resolve rekindled, each man aware that they were teetering on the edge of history. The crew found themselves inching closer to the vault, a palpable tension vibrating through the air. Alan motioned them to gather, their breaths quickening as they reached the door. He clenched his jaw, reminding them of their purpose. "This is where it gets real. Stick to the plan, and we're in and out before anyone suspects a thing." One man nervously adjusted his cap while Alan surveyed the surroundings for any signs of trouble. The clock was ticking, each second stretching uncomfortably as they awaited the opportune moment. With synchronized movements, they positioned themselves, ready to execute the next phase of their high-stakes operation. With a deep breath, Alan pressed the button on the keycard access panel, his thumb hovering in anxious anticipation. The muted beep echoed in the tense silence, a message that surged through the crew like electricity. He exchanged brief, determined glances with his team, silently urging them forward as they clung to their professionalism. The door swung open, revealing the cold, imposing vault, filled with stacks of cash that seemed to beckon them closer. As they stepped inside, reality transformed into a blur of purpose. Each duffel bag, quickly filled with the tangible promise of wealth, fingers moving deftly as adrenaline masked their fears. Alan's mind raced, every second felt like an eternity, steering them deeper into the heart of their nefarious plot. Suddenly, a noise echoed outside, breaking their focus, the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. Panic surged through the crew, and Alan quickly raised a hand, signaling them to halt. Heartbeats drummed in their ears as they held their breath, every instinct screaming for silence. "Get ready," he whispered sharply, preparing them for the unpredictable nature of their plan. They crouched low, eyes darting toward the vault door, apprehension thickening the air. As the footsteps drew closer, all they could do was pray the moment would shift back to their favor, hoping the unexpected wouldn't shatter their audacious heist. Time seemed to stretch, each agonizing second amplifying the tension that gripped them. Alan wasn't about to let their situation spiral out of control, instincts honed from years in the company kicked in. "Stay still, we'll wait this out," he whispered, his voice steady despite the rising urgency. The footsteps paused just outside the vault, sending chills down their spines. They could hear muffled voices, laughter echoing through the corridor, a stark contrast to their tense silence. Sweat beaded on Alan's forehead, the weight of the moment pressing down. Just as he feared their cover was about to be blown, the laughter faded, footsteps moving away, and relief washed over him like a tide. "Now," he commanded, urgency lacing his words. The crew sprang into action, filling their bags with money as quickly as they could, the thrill of the heist pulsing through their veins like fire. The vault's contents disappeared inside the bags, a promise of freedom, excitement, and impending danger, all mixed in a heady cocktail of risk and reward. With frantic energy, the crew continued to fill their duffel bags, hands moving with purpose as they loaded cash in a flurry. Alan's heart raced, the gravity of their undertaking surging through every fiber of his being. "Faster, we need to be out of here before anyone catches on," he urged, aware that the thin veil of calm they maintained could unravel at any moment. The sight of so much money invigorated them, yet the weight of their actions loomed over their heads like a storm cloud ready to burst. In that charged atmosphere, Alan glanced at his team, their faces a mixture of exhilaration and anxiety. The duffel bags bulged with cash, his bold vision materializing before his eyes, yet the clock was ticking. "Just a few more minutes, we can do this," he encouraged, urgency threading through his commanding tone. Each moment felt critical as sweat dripped down their brows,